What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Keith one-time Thurman. Keith Thurman says that Crawford didn't beat the real champion in Spence and claims he would have wiped Errol too. Wow, okay. He said, my, how the tables have turned. Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, that's what Terence Crawford said. And what he said after that is he said Crawford didn't beat up a real champion, kid. Everybody knows that if you put Thurman in the ring on that night, Thurman wipes that Spence, that Errol. He gets wiped by many people, said Thurman. He also said, I don't think that Errol Spence would have beat Sean Porter. God blessed you, kid. Everybody knows in boxing that it's timing. There's an old saying, one day you got it, the next day you don't. A lot of people know. Thurman against Spence, the same scenario. He said Crawford and I could have fought in October, but Crawford fought a nobody, David Avanesian. Are you kidding? Or are you king of the hill now? Yeah, said Thurman. You put me in there with Crawford on the same night in Vegas. Do what you want in your career. If you don't want to fight me, Spence never wanted it. You don't really want it. That's fine. Do you know what you... Okay, let me counterpunch. I'm not reading everything Keith says because Keith says a lot, okay? Now, here we go with the bullshit. Now Spence wasn't himself. See, that's the problem. Now we're going with the Spence wasn't himself shit. Okay? Oh, I would have beat Spence too. Well, Keith Thurman, you didn't fight Spence at all. You know? Like, you didn't fight any version of Spence. And normally, I'm a Keith Thurman supporter because I like his charisma and stuff like that. But now he's just talking, you know, now he's just about bullshit now. He's just talking shit simply because he was mad because Terence Crawford told him you'll never get a shot because your inactivity has always been your worst enemy. And that's true, you know, but here's the deal. We don't know that Keith Thurman's inactivity is due to injuries, you know, due to that, or just apprehensiveness due to uncertainty. Meaning, maybe those fights he didn't take because he wasn't sure he was going to win. Because Errol Spence chased you all the fuck around the division. Sure, I get it. Floyd ducked you. I get it, Keith. Floyd ducked you. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know, you don't do what the last guy did to you. Because at that point, you're creating the same vicious bullshit cycle. Okay? You're doing the same thing somebody else does. Well, somebody else hurt me, ducked me, shitted on me. I'm going to do it to somebody else. That's not how it works, Keith. And you had ample opportunity to fight Errol Spence at another whole point in his career. That certain people now you're saying, oh, well, I would have beat him too. Well, that's easy for you to say because you didn't fight him at any time. So I don't want to hear that shit. To the point Errol Spence told you, you know what? I'm not going to fight you ever. And now Terence Crawford is saying that same thing, and you can't handle it. Here's the thing, Keith. If you snooze, you lose, bud. If you snooze, you lose. Because if you keep telling people, man, I'm Keith one time, and I let that, I'm not afraid to let it go, I think the stigma on Keith Thurman is this, okay? Let's keep it 100. Keith Thurman got beat by a 40-year-old congressman. And when he got beat by a congressman, he implied that either something was up with Manny Pacquiao's gloves, if you guys can remember that, okay? Or something wasn't quite right with Manny that was helping him win besides him being a 40-year-old congressman. See, but then understand, there's always a but. There's always excuses. There's always, oh, man, it just felt funny that night. It's always something, you know? And I tell you guys this. Keith Thurman didn't have this mindset until he read that damn post from Terence Crawford. Now all of a sudden, Terence Crawford fought a watered down version of Errol Spence. He's saying that shit because he's pissed off. This is his way of trying to lash back out at Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford said, I'll never fight you because you are Danny Garcia, because both of you motherfuckers shitted on me when I came to the division like I wouldn't nobody. Okay? That's what happened. And this is just Keith Thurman's way of saying, well, hey, I don't think that was a good version of him anyway, you know, to keep it real with you. You know what I mean? But I'm like this. Listen, Keith Thurman should fight Jared Ennis. Fight who's available. You can't fight Terence Crawford anyway because Terence Crawford has obligations to fight Errol Spence, a guy you said was washed up anyway. And on top of that, Errol Spence was younger than Terence Crawford. So I don't understand where he gets that from. Well, one day you got it, one day you don't. Well, shit. When didn't Errol Spence have it? Oh, just conveniently the night that Terence Crawford will tap that ass? So no, I don't buy the bullshit. I don't buy it because Keith Thurman, I think he's just pissed off at what Terence Crawford said. Nothing more, nothing less. But if Thurman wants to do more than to talk, he needs to fight Jared Ennis and take him out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people compare Jared Ennis to Terence Crawford anyway. So if that's what you are about, let's see what you're about. Let's see what that aboutness is. Let's see what that one time's about. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Keith Thurman stating now that that version of Errol Spence was washed up. He would have beat him along with everybody else in the division. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!